Keith McMillen Instruments has been building quite a name for itself since 2005, and it has come up with some awesome products. One of the most exciting new releases it's come up with is the Keith McMillen Instruments K-Mix, an audio interface, mixer, and MIDI controller all in one compact and nice looking box. Hey, what's up guys, this is Christian DeLupa here for All Things Gear, and today we're looking at the KMI K-Mix. Now, the first thing you'll notice about the K-Mix is its design, and it's very sexy. The device is built with a sleek black and white color scheme, and it's relatively soft to the touch. It really feels very premium when you pick it up, which is very nice. While solid, it's not overly heavy either, so it's a great option for taking on the go, which is obviously the main draw for buying the K-Mix in the first place. The actual controls are touch sensitive rather than mechanical, and we like the feel of it. Sure, they may not be as surgical as actual knobs and faders, but they look and feel futuristic and work just fine for most uses. On the back of the device, you'll find the 8 inputs and 8 outputs, as well as a micro USB and mini USB port. The micro USB port, labeled audio, is used for both bus powering the device and for connecting it to a computer, while the mini USB port, labeled control, is used to connect the device to an external KMI MIDI expander, which comes equipped with physical MIDI ports. It can also be used to connect to a power supply in the event that your computer or device doesn't offer enough power. On the front, you'll also find a 3.5mm headphone jack for use when you're using the device as an audio interface or mixer. In the box, you find all the cables and adapters necessary to use the device. That includes a few different adapters for different countries and quick start instructions. Unfortunately, there's no carry case or pouch, which is a bit disappointing considering the fact that the K-Mix is designed to be portable. In general, the Keith McMillen Instruments K-Mix looks and feels great. It's solidly built and very compact, which is great for portable uses. One of the main reasons you'll buy the K-Mix is if you need a solid desktop interface, and it works quite well in that regard. It supports sample rates of 44.1 to 96 kHz. Audio can be sent to the computer both pre- and post-processing, and if you choose to go the post route, you'll have access to the built-in EQ, dynamics, and aux sends. Audio is routed back to the interface through USB returns 1.8, and can be routed accordingly through your DAW, which is very handy. If you're using the headphone jack on the interface, they'll be routed through outputs 9 to 10, so you can easily monitor your mix, for example. In general, the preamps on the device sound quite good, and they're pretty transparent too, which is a good thing. Some may prefer their own dedicated preamps, but in general those installed on the device are versatile and sound good. The device isn't useful just in the studio, it's also pretty powerful in small-scale live situations. Considering its size, it's really impressive to see 8 inputs and outputs, which should be plenty for acoustic and small band situations. While the fader touchpads aren't as responsive as mechanical faders, they're still super easy to use. On top of that, we love the LED lights that feature underneath the faders, as they'll help you better monitor routed audio. Above those faders, you'll find 4 large pads which emulate rotary knobs. Those can be modified to control essentially what you want, but common cases include things like main, aux1, aux2, and aux3 levels, or controls for onboard processing. The last major mode that you can use the K-Mix as is as a control surface, and it's not bad at that either. This is probably the weakest use of the K-Mix, but while we wouldn't recommend people buy it specifically for using as a control surface, it's a nice extra feature. The device is connected to the computer through a total of 3 virtual MIDI ports. To set up and use the device as a control surface, you'll need to use the K-Mix editor, which we'll discuss in the next section. It's not a bad software, but setting it up may involve referencing the instruction manual a little. K-Mix has a few different operating modes, or banks, in which the device will act differently. In the mix bank, all audio manipulation is carried out, and the device will only control things like playing, pausing, and recording. In the 3 remaining banks, you'll be able to use the K-Mix and also the expander, if you have one set up. Switching between the banks is extremely easy to do. Just hit the shift button and the corresponding bank button at the same time. At the center of the communication between the Keith McMillen K-Mix and the computer is the K-Mix editor, a small program that you'll download from the Keith McMillen website. While you can do some things without it, to get full use of the device, you'll definitely want to use the editor. It's important to note that the editor doesn't actually handle any audio processing. It just visualizes it and allows you to make some changes to how the K-Mix works. The K-Mix editor takes a little getting used to, but in general it's well presented and easy to use. You can edit the different parameters on the device and save them to it for future use. A total of 12 presets can be created and installed quickly and easily. Using the K-Mix as a control surface is a little hidden and may require a little tinkering. To enable virtual HUI ports in the first place, you'll need to delve into the settings of the editor. Once you enable it, depending on your DAW, you'll need to head to the MIDI controller settings to enable. For example, in Pro Tools, you'll head to Peripherals, then MIDI Controllers, and enable from K-Mix Editor HUI and to K-Mix Editor HUI. In general, we like the K-Mix editor, and while like the K-Mix itself, there is a bit of a learning curve. Once you get used to it, it's very easy to use. The Keith McMillen Instruments K-Mix is a Swiss Army knife in the audio world. If you're looking for a do-it-all kind of device and don't manage overly large sessions or events, then the K-Mix is definitely a great option for you. There definitely is a learning curve to the device, and we recommend downloading the manual for the first week or so of use, but after that, it should be pretty easy to grasp. While the $579 price tag isn't overly cheap, we definitely think the K-Mix is worth the money. Check out the description for links to buy the Keith McMillen Instruments K-Mix and a link to the full review. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Christian DeLupa, here with All Things Gear, and we'll see you next time.